Begonias are one of the most beautiful flowering plants, and you can also grow them very healthily by following this video. We will talk all about begonia plant care, and some of the secret growth boosting tips about them. So keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. Begonia plant is a permanent summer's flowering plant, with a variety of flower colors and leaf shapes. Basically, these plants are the tropical to subtropical area plants that loves a hot area to grow constantly. Their flowers are very soft and thick, stays long on the plant, but have not any fragrance. They have a lot of varieties, some are common and some are very rare, all have different plus points and features. This is the common begonia, that grow really well, even in hard conditions. If we talk about the growing season of begonia flower plant, then this plant starts its growth as the spring starts and continue to grow and bloom time to time in the whole summer season. You can grow them either from their cuttings, or you can buy their plants in the springs. In the summers, begonias grow really well, but as the winter season starts they slow down their growth, and undergo a dormancy condition. They can pass the hard winters very easily, just keep them in a shade, or you can also move them indoors for protecting them from extreme temperature decrease. As the temperature starts to warm up again, begonia plant will also starts to grow back. In the season, there are a few very important things that you must take care of. Otherwise you might face random problems with your begonias, on which we will talk in a while. But first of all, the most important thing for growing begonias is its watering. That must be set as a priority thing. Begonia plant is a hardy plant, but their stem have a lot of moisture in it. That's why you don't have to water them so much frequently. They are drought tolerant and can pass weeks without moisture very easily. On the other hand, overwatering or moisture blockage can cause rotting of its stem and roots. So it is extremely important to follow up a right watering technique for their consistent growth. For watering begonia plants, first you have to make sure the soil is well draining. Then you can add water on the alternate days, or as the upper soil layer dries out. A deep watering will be better and make sure the extra moisture gets out of your pot. Here a good soil mix plays a very big role. You can either buy a well-draining mixture for your begonia plants from the description box, or you can also make a homemade recipe. A detailed video on that is also added in the description box. Just make sure your soil mix is not looking wet for a long time. Another important thing in begonia plant care is to adjust its location. Begonia plant is a summer season plant, but its sunlight requirement is very unlike to other summer flowers. They like a bright and well-lit spot, instead of direct sunlight. In summers, the sunlight is very intense and can cause adverse effects on the plant, so it will be much better if you choose a spot with a lot of indirect sunlight. Remember, begonia plant is a flowering plant and sunlight is still very important for its healthy blooming. 1 to 2 hours of morning sunlight can be very growth boosting, so adjust the location of your begonia plant, considering all of these aspects. Another thing in begonia plant care is about its fertilization. Begonia plant is a heavy feeder that requires a variety of nutrients in its mixture. With this, it also likes an acidic medium to grow in, so we have to provide it a nitrogen-enriched fertilizer with other essential nutrients. Here you can use a mix of compost and cow dung in equal ratios. A dose of this fertilizer makes the medium just ideal for your begonias. Both of them not only provide nutrition, but they also have a number of other benefits that you must check out from the description box videos. And keep the plant fertilized every 10 days in the season. You can also order a professional flower booster that works even better. It's also linked in the description box. Proper deadheading of begonia flower plant is also very important to keep the plant blooming. Removal of dried flowers keeps the plant fresh and more growing. Keep the dried flowers out of your begonia plant, so it provides you more of them. About the diseases and pests of begonia plant, they have many pest enemies that are not so much common, but a short guide on these pests and their effects is in the description box. For the problems, rotting of its stem and roots is a very common thing, but if you use a correct watering technique, rotting wouldn't appear. Using a small amount of neem cake in our begonias mixture can also repel common soil pests and any chance of rotting. A complete guide about neem cake is linked here. You must use this thing especially in these plants.